Mustang fans, are you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
For the first down, won't need it. It's going to be another Mustang touchdown.
The following is a West Jones High School presentation of the Mustang Network.
He's going the other way. It's a live football. It's going to be a touchdown for the Mustangs.
They answered the call. They brought the juice the whole season. We got great kids that's going to work hard and make our community proud.
And that is a 62-yard touchdown for the West Jones Mustangs.
The West Jones Mustangs finish off a 14-0 season and are state champions once again.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wayne Sanderson Farms and Hills In-House Jewelers. I'm the voice of the Mustangs, Rich Gray, and we'll be joined in studio shortly by head football coach and athletic director Corey Reynolds. This past week, the West Jones Mustangs played host to the Laurel Golden Tornadoes, a rival from only 7 miles away, in an annual showdown with inter-county rivals here at Mustang Field, as the Mustangs came away with a victory 20-9. We're going to take a look here in just a second at some of those highlights and be joined in studio by head football coach Corey Reynolds. Let's throw it to the highlight package as we look at some of this past week's highlights.
An H-back and a receiver left, 2 receivers right for the West Jones offense. 4-man front for Laurel. Snap comes, handoff goes to home, straight through the middle, navigates to the right, outside the numbers, right side 30, to the 40. He's off to the races down the sideline. 40 of Laurel and tripped up on his way out of bounds. 3-by-1 receivers set. Lindsey fakes the handoff, rolls right. He's wide open to the 5, and he sneaks in for a touchdown. Tootie Lindsey, 5 yards out for the score, and West Jones take the early 6-0 lead. Side, single receiver left is Watson. Tootie Lindsey on an option, keeps it himself off the left tackle, gets up to midfield, escapes a shoestring tackle, and rolls down to the 44-yard line into Laurel territory. Since they made it to the 5-yard line right before scoring on their opening drive. Low snap, Lindsey picks it up, rolls right, throws on the move, pass caught at the 30-yard line, and pulled down right where he caught it, went marker barefoot. But enough, they can get 2 more yards out of Holmes in the same formation. He takes the direct snap, tries to go through the left side, and he's wide open to score. Touchdown, West Jones, as Caleb Holmes scores from 2 yards out on 4th down and goal.
It's like it's spotted at the 3-yard line.
3rd and goal from the 3. Handoff goes to Hosey. He cannot go.
Number 1, Okie Twilly, comes out of nowhere, making the tackle in the backfield.
There's a signal. It's put down. Kick is put up. It has the distance, and it is good. So Laurel gets on the scoreboard. Time will tell there. Lindsey takes a shotgun snap, pumps, now throws over the middle. Pass caught by Watson at the 10, and he's driven down to the 5-yard line with 26 seconds left. Wanted to make sure that he wouldn't lose out on a running play to end the half. Barefoot yo-yos in motion. Lindsey rolls right to throw, cuts upfield through the left side of the line, and he's in. Touchdown Mustangs as Tootie Lindsey goes 5 yards for his 2nd score of the game. They trail by 17 here in the 3rd quarter. Bivens takes the snap, hands off Hosey to the left side. West Jones trying to stack him up. He's pushing the pile forward to the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown Golden Tornadoes. 2nd down and 10 from a clock at rest at 7.4. Bivens takes the shotgun snap, backs up. He's pressured by Holmes, and he's sacked. An LS Rockin' Dirt sack, and that's your ball game. Caleb Holmes wraps up Bryson Bivens and ends the ball game.
And welcome into the studio to head football coach and athletic director here at West Jones, Coach Corey Reynolds. Coach, it's good to have you with us, and coming off a win, I know it's a good feeling to be able to be here and really celebrate what your team accomplished this past Friday night.
It's always good to win. We talk to our kids about at the end of every night that we play, we want to be 1-0, and that's what we were. And then on Saturday mornings, the coffee's a little bit better, and the attitude and how that day goes is a whole lot better too.
Right, a date that's been circled on your calendar since the middle of November last year, that August 29th season opener. You've been working hard all spring and all summer to get ready for that. Coach, what's it like to go out on the field, execute your game plan, and come away with a win?
Man, it's good. It's good for those kids to see their hard work put in has benefits, and it pays off, and the things that we're pushing them and challenge them to do, it makes sense. You know, sometimes as teenagers, we always look at the older guys. They don't know what they're talking about. And then when we get to be those older guys, we look at those teenagers and like, well, there we were. And it's good that whenever they believe and trust in what we do and it shows up on the field, the things we say in practice, in the weight room, in the locker room, you hear it back out in the huddles and you hear it out on the field. And so it's always good whenever you finally get that first one under your belt at home. It was a great win. Now it's time to get ready for the next one.
Right. It was a ugly night, field soaking wet. It rained. What seemed like it hadn't rained in 7-8 weeks. And then all of a sudden on Thursday, before you play on Friday, a deluge comes in. It rains 2 straight days. Field is saturated. It was an ugly field, ugly conditions. I know there were a lot of things that you saw could have improved that, you know, from an execution standpoint. But how did the weather play into some of the things you wanted to do?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We kind of shortened the playbook a little bit. We were up at half, and then we kind of sat on the second half. We knew in those type games, coaches and players lose those instead of winning them. You know, we had 0 turnovers. We didn't even fumble the ball, so we took care of the football. We gave ourselves a chance to win. I think we had 1 or 2 turnovers on defense, 2 takeaways. We just took care of the football. We didn't put ourselves in bad situations. You know, we did the 6 things to win a game. We blocked and tackled, we kicked and covered, and we threw and catch. And then we did it for great effort. And then, you know, we're going to see if we can do it better this week.
Yeah, and on the offensive side of the ball, you know, as the primary play caller and you know, with Coach Parker there, you guys kind of tag team that. But again, the weather kind of wreaked havoc on some of the things that you wanted to do, kind of took away some of the passing game. And we saw, you know, a couple of completed attempts there. But as far as, you know, some of the things you wanted to call, did that play into that as well?
It did. And then with a game like that, it was kind of predicted to be a little bit cooler, and it wasn't. And so it was muggy. Like I said, the field was really, really saturated. It held up pretty good for it. And, you know, game plan always changes according to what's happening. And so, you know, we just wanted to make sure we didn't put ourselves in a bad situation with just trying to be cute or trying to be, you know, trying to do too much. We just, when we got up 20-9 or 20-3, you know, they said, hey, let's trust our defense. Let's trust our offensive line. Let's trust Tootie and the rest of the offense. Let's finish this thing off. And we did, and I was proud of them. Kind of one of those, I'm sure there was some grumbling gripes in the bleachers and stuff about us not, you know, putting the ball in there and be more aggressive. But, you know, we did what we were supposed to do to win, and that's what we wanted to do.
Right. On the offensive side of the ball, what are some things you saw this week that give me a positive and a negative? Some things that you saw that, you know, we did well, some things that you saw that we could improve on going into this week with Northeast Jones.
Really up front, we had some younger players on the offensive line get in and play some meaningful snaps and not just at the end, and we're just kind of nailing the ball. Very, very proud of those guys come in. That can be a life-changing experience. You finally get out there and bullets are flying, and it's a meaningful game, and the game's still on the line. So I was proud to have Coach Parker and Coach Boover taking care of those offensive line. We got some really young guys in, you know, a couple freshmen in that played some meaningful snaps. And then, you know, Caleb had a great game, and that was all, you know, for the guys up front and even the receivers down the field. We always said the lineman gets you 10 to 15, the receivers get you the 40-plus and, you know, blocking downfield. Did a lot of good things with that. Just like with any game, you go back, and it's never as good, it's never as bad. You know, we were one play away, one person away from really blowing that thing wide open, and we just didn't get our head across, or we just didn't do whatever. From from everybody on offense, and that's usually the case. It's always something little that keeps us from doing something big. So got it corrected on Sunday and ready to get after practice and see how much better we can be this week.
Right. So on the defensive side of the ball, you got to be impressed with the fact that your defense, who is, you've got some senior leadership there, but you've also got some young guys that are getting some snaps on that side of the ball, only gave up 9 points to a very talented Laurel ball club. Coach Hicks had those guys ready to execute and ready to pursue the ball. What are some things you saw on that side of the ball that were good, and some of the things you saw that could be improved upon this week?
Great effort, great leadership over there. Not only just young kids, we just older kids that haven't played yet and haven't played enough. So once again, they're out there in live action on a Friday night, meaningful games, and bullets are flying. And I thought we responded well. Laurel's a very, very athletic and explosive team. We limited their big plays. The opening drive after halftime, we didn't play our best football, and they let them get the only touchdown of the night, just drove right down the field. And after that, they woke up and got after it. Really proud about how they responded. We always talk about it's not what happens to you, how you handle what happens to you. Thought our guys really, really responded. Nobody panicked. We just got back out there and played West Jones defense and shut them down the rest of the game. Yeah, that defensive line, really, I saw from, the first snap through the end of the ball game, that defensive line, turned up the intensity, and just about every play, Laurel's quarterback had pressure at some point on him from those defensive tackles and ends that were trying to get in the backfield there. We're going to throw it to a commercial break. We're going to go out and pay some bills. When we come back, we're going to be joined by two very special guests here in studio as we talk to Mustang linebackers Hudson and Harrison Pierce. But let's go out and pay some bills on the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wayne Sanderson Farms and Hills In-House Jewelers.
Looking for the perfect ring or a trusted jeweler? Hill's In-House Jewelers has you covered. Owned by Laurel natives Jeff and Courtney Hill, they've been serving the community since 2010. From engagement rings to fine jewelry, custom designs to expert repairs, every piece is crafted and cared for on-site, never mailed out. Discover the largest selection of bridal jewelry in Laurel, right here at 1104 Sawmill Road. Hill's In-House Jewelers, all the sparkle, all in-house.
I love the kids. I have several siblings of students that I've taught throughout the years, and so it's great to see full circle how some of these kids have come from their siblings. I love being from West Jones because a lot of my kids, former and current, I get to see out in the community. They work at the restaurants, the businesses. A lot of them come to the sporting events that my own children play in. And so it's a sense of community, whether you're at the school or outside the school, because we see each other and we support each other. And my kids know that I love them and I love seeing them succeed inside of school and outside of school.
And welcome back to the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wayne Sanderson Farms and Hills In-House Jewelers. We are blessed right now to be joined in studio by two West Jones seniors that have had a lot of meaningful snaps on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball over the last couple of the years. We're joined in studio now by senior linebackers Hudson and Harrison Pierce, affectionately known as the Twin Killers around here. These guys, they're laughing, shaking their head, but these guys have played a lot of downs of Mustang football, and I'm glad you guys joined us in the studio today just to talk a little bit about your experience of being West Jones Mustangs. First, Harrison, since you're right here, what's it like for you this past Friday night when you walked out of the field house for pregame warm-ups and you see the stands already full, even though it's a rainy, muggy night, but you look up on that home side and you see the stands already full of green and gold, man, and you're ready to strap it up and you're ready to play ball. What's that mean to you to come out to have that community support as you step out on the field?
It's what we do it for. If our student section gets there early, it gives us the energy to play. It just gives us the motivation. And just going out there, warm up pregame, and you see the whole community, it just gives you chills every time.
Right, man. You started. I looked up Friday night. And, I was getting things ready before the game began, and you look up, and all of a sudden, man, just people are bowling into the stadium. It's something that they've had circled since the middle of November last year as well. Hudson, what's it like for you, man, to, like I said, come out of that field house and see the energy and feel the energy that's already there? And what does that do for you from a mental standpoint, gearing up to go out and take the field?
It's pretty nice having all those fans out there. It's kind of like what Harrison said. It's just like the chills, the vibe. Just gets you lit up and just ready to go out there and just have fun.
Right. I mean, there's nothing like this community when it comes to their high school football. It's unlike anywhere I've ever been, anywhere I've ever seen. Man, our people show up and they show out. And you guys have played, I know, Hudson, you played a lot of offense last year, a lot of reps at quarterback last year while Tootie was out. But going over primarily to the defensive side of the ball this year, what's it like playing with your brother in the same, on the linebacker position? What is that like? Does it create some sort of special thing going on there on each and every play?
Yeah, it's kind of like a bond we had growing up. Used to play for the Colts, and he'd be right by me. And it's just somebody you can trust to go out there and do their job, and it's just good to rely on that.
Right. Harrison, tell us what it's like. We asked Hudson, but what's it like for you to be on the field with your brother at the same time?
Well, it's a chemistry thing. It's kind of like we know what each other's thinking. We know when we need to pick each other up. We know when we need to give each other juice. And you don't got to say too much. We already know what we need to do. And it's kind of a sad thing on what's about to happen.
Awesome. You guys had a solid game Friday night. I know we called both names a lot as you made some really nice defensive plays. But you guys, it really is a family affair. Mm-hmm. Your mom is heavily involved in the touchdown club, but every Friday night there's a steady presence there on the sideline as you look over, and your dad is right there on the sideline as our, present, physical therapist, sports trainer, a little bit of everything on the sideline. But what's it like for you guys? I'll ask each of you this, but what's it like for you to look down and not only see your coaches there, but your dad's right there with you? I mean, what's that like for you guys?
Well, Dad's our biggest supporter. He's been there since day one. And for football and baseball, he's a trainer for both. So I know when I mess up or I just feel like I need to do something different, he's always looking at me. He'll mouth some words. He'll mouth some words to me, but it's the right things to say. And he's just our biggest supporter. He was telling me, it was fourth quarter the other night, he's like, turn it on, let it loose. And it gave me a little pick-me-up that I need because I was starting to get tired and winded, but I'm like, all right, let's go. Come on.
Right, Hudson?
Yeah, kind of what Harrison said, go in the fourth quarter, everybody's drained. And then I look over to see Coach Hicks, and my dad's standing right by him. He's doing that flip that switch to just keep going, and keep fighting.
There's nothing like having that support system on the sideline there. You can look over and, get that instant boost of energy that you need at the right moment. And that's what you guys did. I mean, whatever switch he told you to flip on worked, because there in the fourth quarter, you look up, it's 20-3 at halftime. We score with, I think 10 seconds left in the first half to go up 20-3, and then all of a sudden you come out after halftime. Laurel brings some energy out of the locker room. They drive down the field, they score. It's a hot August night. Again, very humid. Cramps are happening. And then you look up, all of a sudden it's 20-9, and you have to turn on that switch, because all of a sudden it goes from a 17-point game to an 11-point game, in an instant. And that this game is fixing to, the energy is about to turn up. They get a little bit of momentum in their corner. But what's it like, man, for you guys to flip that switch in the fourth quarter, and to virtually shut them down from a defensive side of the ball? Shut them down, not let them get any closer. You guys, I think we've beaten Laurel now 6 times in a row. Okay, nothing's taken for granted, obviously. But what's it like for you to have that record over Laurel over the last 3 to 4 years? I believe starting in 2020, that state championship season, they knocked us off of their place, but they haven't beaten us since. What's it like for you to hold that streak over our county rivals?
Well, for a community standpoint, it's a big deal. It's a big weight on us, and it feels good to carry it, because when we know when we do right and we beat them, that we're going to have the whole community behind us. And Laurel's a good athletic team, and they're known for rallying later in the game. So it's always going to be an interesting game when we play Laurel. They came out of that opening drive and gave us the best effort. And as a new season, we got to realize that just because we shut them out first quarter doesn't mean that they can't come back in the second. So we got to start rallying. We got to start getting back in the second half every time.
Right, Hub?
Just beating them the past 3 or 4 years, it's just nice to run the county. We've been doing that, and we always will do that.
Right. And, hey, this Friday night, tomorrow night, you guys have another countywide showdown with Northeast Jones. They've taken that step up from 4A to 5A. Although it's crazy how the districting worked and how they're in a completely different district from Laurel and South. But you open the season this year, 3 county rivals in a row. You've got Laurel. We've already checked them off the list. This Friday night, Northeast Jones. They come to our place. So what are you kind of looking forward to about playing them as well? The whole countywide rivalry thing. I know there's a lot of chatter that happens during the week. But what are some things that you're putting into place this week to make sure your teammates are ready to go out Friday night and check Northeast Jones off the list?
It's about, when playing a wing T team, who's going to be more physical. It's a dogfight, It's a head down and go. You can't be sorry about yourself if you mess up, because when you play a big running team, it's going to be really physical, and you got to make sure you take care of your body this week. Coming off minor injuries last week, cramping and bruising, you just got to make sure you're hydrated, and then you take care of yourself so we can go Friday.
Right.
The same thing Harrison said. Starts we're just practicing hard, starting Tuesday, and just doing our job when it comes game time. Just the dogfight.
Right. Getting out there at practice today, getting, make sure you're taking that leadership role on the team and encouraging everybody, hey, do the little things right this week. If you do the little things, as Coach Reynolds said earlier in the show, when, you do the little things, that leads to the whole team being able to do big things. Mm-hmm. So, hey, this week's goal, be 1-0. Mm-hmm. Be 1-0 after Friday night here at Mustang Field, and get ready for another tough matchup with South Jones. So, guys, thanks for joining me in the studio today. Man, it's been awesome having you guys, roam the field as Mustangs over the last few years. And we look forward to seeing what you guys can do this year and seeing how far you guys and your leadership can take us. We're going to step out and take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be joined again by head coach Corey Reynolds as we discuss this Friday night's game with Northeast Jones. And he has a special message for Mustang Nation. We'll be back on the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wayne Sanderson Farms and Hills In-House Jewelers.
Mustang Network tryouts were tough, mostly on the equipment.
Staying on.
How's the school year going?
Officer Gilson, I need you right now. This student has just hit me.
I'm Van Albert, and I'm live from the new
Hello, Wes Jones, and I'm...
Wait, we need an interview. What's your name?
Being a part of the Mustang
Your mouth.
Being a part of the Mustang Network is so much fun.
Today I'm here with Dr. Rogers. How are you today?
Dr. Rogers? That's not my name.
Hi, and welcome to the Mustang Network.
I'm on my way, Miss Mayella.
Looking for the perfect ring or a trusted jeweler? Hill's In-House Jewelers has you covered. Owned by Laurel natives Jeff and Courtney Hill, they've been serving the community since 2010. From engagement rings to fine jewelry, custom designs to expert repairs, every piece is crafted and cared for on-site, never mailed out. Discover the largest selection of bridal jewelry in Laurel, right here at 1104 Sawmill Road. Hill's In-House Jewelers, all the sparkle, all in-house.
After careful consideration, I've decided to take my sponsorship talent to the SEC. Nope. Sorry, this would have been a lot cooler if I could actually put this hat on my head. Sanderson Farms, official chicken of the SEC.
And welcome back to the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wayne Sanderson Farms and Hills In-House Jewelers. We're now joined again in studio by head football coach Corey Reynolds as we look forward to this week's game tomorrow night, right here, 7 p.m., right here in the shoe as we play host to the Tigers from Northeast Jones. Coach Reynolds, when you look at this week's game, what are some things you've noticed on film regarding Northeast Jones, a team that runs the wing tee offense and runs, they're predominantly run heavy, but they can, of course, beat you with the long ball after they've baited you in. What are some things you've noticed on film about them and some things we'll try to maybe exploit this week?
And Coach Miller's done a real good job since he's taken over the head coach. Like I said, they're a wing tee team. It's a foot-to-foot, pound it, grind it, really going to put it in your lap and see if you really want to be interested in playing football that night. And it's kind of like playing an option team. You have assignment football. You've got to get penetration. You got to know your job. You got to get those linemen cut down. You've got to be able to spill it. Got to keep them out of 3rd and 2 short yardage situations. We got to get them behind the chains, because when they do have to throw the ball, that type of offense, it makes it really hard on them. And for us, we got to make sure no assignment, get lined up and make the tackle. We got to have clean tackles. We can't just go up and hit people. We got to go ahead and get them tackled and get them on the ground and get them out of their routine.
Right. And on the defensive side of the ball, very well coached, very disciplined on that side. Their defensive line is obviously their strength. They have some rather large players over there that are always what seems to be in the backfield. Last year we went over there. It was a close game there right before halftime. We blew it open in the second half. But from an offensive point of view for us, what are some things we need to do to kind of offset that play of their defensive line?
It goes back to getting a hat on a hat and executing the play on offense. Take what they give us. Those guys are big up front. Coach Eastland, that coached with us for years over here, is coaching over there now, and got them playing really hard. And so whenever you're big and physical and play hard and know what you're doing, makes it fun, makes us where we have to make sure we're executing every play. Don't get us in a bad situation as a play caller. Take what they give us. Really just go out and execute, what we've studied film for the week and how we practiced.
Right. With this being a county game, there's a lot of chatter during the week, between players. Some of it friendly, some of it not so friendly. But what's a way that you keep our kids focused going into these county games. They play 3 in a row to start the year. Laurel's been checked off the list. Now we turn our attention to Northeast Jones, coming off a tough loss last week, hosting South Jones. How do you keep our kids focused and not letting the outside noise, get into their head during the week?
Like you said, we start the season off with 3, county rival games, and that's what makes this area fun. Like you play against people people you've played with, heck, relatives, go to church with them. It really makes it fun if you really get into it. Then you got all the bets, wagers, he said, she said in the bleachers or at church, at work, and that's what makes football fun. And our message is always, rule number 1 is do the right thing at the right time. I mean, you come out and practice, ignore the outside noise, don't do anything that's going to harm our team, and then handle yourself with class. And that's, once again, off the field, social media, all that stuff. Just don't buy into the rat poison and all that stuff. Have fun with it, but understand we got a job to do on Friday. And then the big thing is, like I was saying, is do your job. We talk about all the kids on the team. Everybody's got a role and know your job, whether you're the starter, whether you're the backup, whether you're Mikey in the manager's crew. I mean, you got a role and do your job. And this game is, takes one sprained ankle. It takes one helmet coming off, and you're the next guy up, and you got to be ready. And so things get heated, things happen, and sometimes you got to get kids separated, get them off the field, and I like that too. And so whoever the next one up's got to be ready. And then we preach to them, you don't have to get ready if you're already ready. And so it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. As players and coaches, it makes it fun. It gives you bragging rights for the rest of the year. None of them are division games, so we won't see them again in the playoffs. So, we getting everybody's best shot early in the year in the county, and then we're rooting for them the rest of the way. I mean, it's just kind of like your cousins and coming over to your mama's house playing in the backyard. You don't want to lose to them in anything, but then you want to go and support them in everything else they're doing. So that's kind of how it is. We want them to do good every game except the one we play them.
Right. So, Coach, the bar has been set. Last Friday night, our crowd was electric for the Laurel game, and it was rainy and muggy. So what are you expecting this Friday night from the Mustang faithful as they fill Mustang Stadium?
We always talk about our kids doing 1% better. And in the course of a day over 24 hours, 1% is 14 minutes, 20-something seconds. So we want to be better this week. We need the track filled up. We need that big space between the home side and the concession stand. We need that filled up. We need, like I said earlier on last week's show, we need to make it a situation where, our admin down in central office said, we got to get them jokers some bleachers built because they're busting out the seams. And same thing on the Northeast Jones side. I mean, they come off a hard-fought, game last week. They had to deal with the weather too, and I was there watching, and I thought they were fixing to pull it off, and things happen, and I think they're wanting to prove that was not who they are, and they want to come out and show the support for their team and get after us. So we need everybody there. We need them loud and proud. We need the student section. That whole side of it, the rowdy corral, needs to be jumping and hopping and be so obnoxious all the older folks don't even want to be around them.
Right. And we're going to bring the juice to the stadium. We're going to have some good stuff going on there. But this Friday night, Mustang Nation, you need to be there. You need to be loud, be proud. Our students, the Rowdy Corral will be back, and they'll be providing popsicles and bottles of water to cool you off while you turn up the heat on Northeast Jones. And Coach, we're glad you joined us in studio. Thank you for doing this each and every week as we get to expose our Mustang Nation to the inner workings of the Mustang football program and how things are going here at West Jones. We thank you for joining us today. We're so glad that you tuned in. Be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Get here early. Be loud as we play host to the Tigers from Northeast Jones. For head football coach and athletic director Corey Reynolds, I'm the voice of the Mustangs, Rich Gray. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night in Mustang Stadium. And as always, remember, we are West Jones.